Dun,
Ba-bum,
dun, dun,
ba, ba,
dun,
ba,
dun,
ba,
dun,
ba, ba,
kill that
ba,
balls.
ba. You know, it's fast.
It's so fast. Oh
Uh,
man, I felt bad. Like at the
um,
beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna go fast," and
this
he's
is
not
a
gonna be ready for it.
I
And
was not even close to ready.
you,
I,
you
I was
were,
just the
you were not
beginning of
ready,
Major Tom, so well, my shirt's
man.
Spacey song popped in my head, so
It is spacey. Why is your shirt doing that?
because it's little lines, like it's
Yeah,
little black and white lines, so it must be from the video.
that's
Makes it look all
awesome.
spacey. That's awesome. I should have paid extra for this.
Man, we should have. It's like an effect. It's a special effect. People don't listen to
It
them.
is.
It's not the shirt. It's us doing cool things. So,
Finally. So
mhm.
you have a beautiful background. Where did you get your green screen from?
Yeah, yeah. This is not a green screen. I am on the shores of Lake Michigan. I will flip it around to prove it. Can you see?
Nice. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
On the shores of Lake Michigan here, hanging out. So last day of our break, took a little break and went out to the lake. And we have listeners who've never been to the lakes. It's something I think everybody should experience at least once in their life
Hmm.
because the Great Lakes are incredible, right? Like it's like being on the ocean, but the water is not salty, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Great Lakes are amazing.
They are. They're incredible. And the water was good today. I went swimming for a while and the girls were in it for a long, long time.
Hmm.
So, it's just beautiful and the whole time just super geeked that like I said last week, the fact that we get to do this is amazing to
Hmm.
me. And I
Yeah.
told my wife that I'm like, it's kind of special and we shouldn't take it for granted that, we can just like up and leave our lives and go to a lake like this
Hmm.
for a week. I'm like, it's kind of a cool thing, cool
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah. Well, you've been talking about that, and it's funny. I did a class on the Peloton yesterday, and she was talking about that. Jess Sims, she's one of my favorites on there. But she's like, we need to be thankful that we're here and that we're able to do this. And even if you're like training for something, oh, going on a stupid run, like there's no stupid runs. Like
Yeah.
if you're going to put that out there, then you're not going to want to do it. But be
I tell
thankful
my
then.
athletes all the time. I tell my daughters all the time. Like they'll be like, "Oh, do I have to go to practice today?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "You get to go to practice
Hmm.
today. You get to work out." I go, "Some people pay tons of money a month to have coaches help them out and teach
Hmm.
them." And I
Yeah.
go, "You get this individualized attention all the time."
Yeah.
I'm like, I go, "Sometimes I know it's a pain in the butt." I go, "But you get that. Most
Hmm.
humans don't get that." Like,
Yes.
they don't get that opportunity, and that's an amazing thing that you
Hmm.
do. So
Yeah. It is super awesome. Although speaking of training and everything, I saw Matt this weekend, who I'm running in the 5K with.
yes.
He pointed out he's already been training for 6 weeks, which I've probably been signed up for the race for 6 weeks. And I started yesterday. It's
Well,
gonna be
hey, that's
fun.
not bad. I
Well,
I was I was hoping to do some working out while I was on vacation. I didn't, but I'm kind of hoping when I get back home that I kind of get back on that horse
yeah,
and get after it.
yeah.
So
I mean, I did a little run and a walk yesterday, like I said, and I felt so amazing like the whole rest of the day. And I was even telling Gina, like, why don't I do that more? Like, just it's a not even carve out. It was like literally like a half hour, and I
right?
felt amazing. And
Yeah,
one thing that made me feel good talking to Matt, because I was like, you're gonna be fine, because he's shooting for 9 minute miles. That's what his paces starting out with, and
right.
then he wants to build on that. And I was like, you're going to do that easy. And he's like, I want to place in the top 3 of my H bracket. So to me, that's exciting. I thought he was just running it to run it. So like, I'm really going to get on a horse and I'm going to shoot for it, because the last time I ran in a race, I was number 2 in my H bracket.
Nice, nice. Was that
Yeah.
when you were 6?
No, no, that was
Oh,
that was
oh,
just before
oh.
all the craziness. I was still at the house when I was running like miles and miles every day. Then
Oh, 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 oh. That's my
but
bad. That's
but
my
that's
bad.
fine. I mean, I got a little goal now.
Nice,
Like we're
nice.
not running just to run. We're running to do something more than that.
Mm, That's kind of fun. It makes it a little bit more exciting.
Hmm.
So, and I'll be impressed with both of you. So either it's only three people in your age bracket, or you know,
Yeah. No, there was
yes,
there
you
was
know.
a, I mean there were a few people in my age bracket. He's a bit younger than I am. You forget. He's well, he's a lot younger. I think he
How
graduated
much?
in '06
Holy cow!
from high
He's a
school.
baby. He's a baby. Graduated in '06, right? That's
Hmm.
craziness. Pure crazy talk, that is. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any of that kind of stuff, but
Hmm.
I definitely think working out and getting after it. So my wife was
That's
talking
awesome.
about that a little bit. Like she saw some pictures of her, I don't know where, but she was like, I looked awful. And I'm like, you never look awful.
Hmm.
And the girls are like, you don't look awful. She goes, I did. She goes, I looked like I was pregnant. I'm like, right, but now you're body shaming pregnant people. I'm like, that's not awful. I'm like, you look beautiful when you're
That's
pregnant.
not
She's like, you're
okay.
not helping. I'm like, oh, so apparently those were the wrong things to say.
Oh, darn it.
I
That's hilarious.
was like, I always thought you looked beautiful when you were pregnant. You had a glow about you. She's like, but I'm not pregnant. And I'm like, right. So
Hmm.
like, it's still the same.
You're fine.
She did not like that. She did not find that humorous at all.
Oh
So,
man. Well, like we've talked about before, especially as you get older, things are like life is happening more than like when the kids are younger, like, they're either not working or working a little bit and all the time in the world. But
oh yeah.
even just doing something small does make a big difference.
Well, and for ladies, right? Once they get into those 40s, 50s, they start having all their hormones change,
Hmm.
and that causes weight gain, just like it does for men when they start losing testosterone, right?
Hmm.
Not that I know anything about that, but I've heard that. So, but yeah, I think you're right about just doing the little stuff. Like I was talking the other day, I'm like, after VCon, like I just got up, almost every morning and just did something little.
Hmm.
Not like you said, it wasn't even a part of my day. Like I would have gotten up and played on my phone, and instead I got up and I just went for a little jog or something,
Yeah.
and it changed all of my days.
Yeah.
I'm like, that it's just that kind of little thing where you just get up and hit it and do it, and you're
Hmm.
gonna feel a heck of a lot better. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
gonna
had
be
hoped
awesome.
to write a little bit while I was on this because I'm like, oh man, what a perfect time to like write and connect, and I never did that either.
Yeah. You're there. You're having a great time though. I mean, I
And I'm
hardly
having a
talk to
really
you,
nice
so you
time, and
must be, I
it's
mean, you're busy and you're with your family and everything. That's super awesome.
yeah, and it's good, and we needed to kind of disconnect and relax,
Hmm.
so that was good. And even while we're here though, like it's funny because when last year when we took a trip, like we were out of commission, I think people understood that.
Hmm.
But like here we're supposed to be out of commission, and yet we're still getting contacted,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, y'all should just like leave us alone. But one of those was today. I got like, or no, yesterday, a whole bunch of communication on the sale of that rental. And they're
Okay.
like, yeah, maybe we'll close this week. Are you available? And I'm like, yeah. Like if we're gonna be closing, heck
Yeah.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
get that done.
You'll make the drive back and still make it back to the lake
Yeah.
by by
Well,
evening.
well, and that's the other thing about Michigan and the Great Lakes. It's kind of like Florida and the ocean. You're never
Hmm.
that far away,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, that's
like
true.
this spot is 2 hours from my house. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's an easy drive, 2 hours
Hmm.
to be putting your toes in the beach.
Yeah. No, that's super awesome. We're actually leaving in the morning for a trip, and I can't remember if I talked about it last week. I
You did
know we've
not.
been poloing about it, but yeah, Gina and I are going to America's Mart. So we're super excited about that. And any business people out there, if you're unfamiliar with it and you're looking for any sort of product to wholesale or do anything like that with, that is a great spot to do it. So I
Yeah,
guess
tell us what it's going to look like. Tell us what we should see
I just
from it.
have from just what I've heard, I mean, it's basically like three giant buildings full of wholesale stuff, and all the people are based out of the United States. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the factories are in the United States. Like I could go there, say if I wanted to wholesale my sheets, and I
Hmm.
could and I can make contacts there. So you're making contacts with people in the United States. So you are you may be paying a little bit more, but you could get some, like if something looks really interesting, it's something that we want to add to the website or add to the Southern Lion, anything like that. It's something that we can pick up and not have to order a container full or
Right.
something like that. So you might be paying a little bit extra, you're getting a smaller volume, but if it sells well, there's always that next step if you really want to take it, or you have a contact of somebody who already does it and does all that other work as far as, you know, duties and all the little stuff that's involved with
You
importing
said duty.
duty. So yeah, we're super excited. We're gonna have 2 full days there, and our friend Jason has been there before. I've heard about it, all the years that I've been doing shows and just never
Yeah.
gone. So yeah, we're super excited about it. End up getting an Airbnb like just a couple blocks away. So
Nice.
that's going to be fun and kind of right in the middle of everything. So the museum's like 3 blocks away, the Coke's 3 blocks away, the old um Olympic Gardens, like the park area, whatever
Yeah.
it's called, is all right there. So yeah, we're right in the middle of everything, and it should be a great
Oh
time.
my gosh, that's fantastic. Hopefully you
Mhm.
find something cool. If you find
Yeah,
anything that I can play with, let me know.
I'll let you know for sure.
Always excited to play with stuff, and apparently my rental's going to sell, so I'll have money.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean, the thing is just to kind of see what's out there and just to, if there's anything we want to add on, like we have a couple different options, things that we want to do. And so just kind of see what's there. And it goes back to the point that you made earlier. Thankfully, we're in a position where we can get away for, a half a week.
right.
Atlanta's close. It's 4 hours and just be able to go there. We're bringing the sitter with us. So we're super, super excited.
That is awesome. Well, I hope it's fantastic. It should be really, really cool.
Hmm.
I think it'll be cool. And you'll have to give us a
Yeah.
full report when you get back.
Yeah.
When are you going to get back?
Saturday,
So you're leaving when?
tomorrow.
Leaving tomorrow, back on Saturday.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Tomorrow's funky because by we have to get our badges by noon, but we can't check into the Airbnb till 4, and
mm,
the show ends tomorrow at 6. So I don't know if we're necessarily going to make it. We might scope up things out real fast, but the
yeah.
big days will be Thursday and Friday.
Still, it'll be a great time, and I'm excited. And
Yeah,
I'm
it'll be
excited to hear
super
what
awesome.
Gina has to say about it because she's going to see a lot of cool stuff that she hasn't
Yeah,
played with.
yeah, she's never been to anything like that before, so it's going to be a
Right.
whole different game.
That'll be amazing. That'll be a
Hmm.
good freaking time.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a good time for you.
I think so too.
And I told you something. I am looking at this thing called Arrived. So
That sounded really interesting.
it's really interesting. I'm not sure about it, but basically people what it is it's Arrived. I forget even who founded it, but it was a cheap like way to get started with investing in real estate. As you all know from the podcast, I already invest in real estate. That's not something. And great, we just talked about me selling one of my rentals, but
Yeah.
this allows you to get in for as little as $100 on a rental,
Hmm.
and they they just listed three for sale. And basically, what you're doing is you are buying stock, for lack of a better word, in that rental. You're buying shares of that rental.
Hmm.
Right. So if it's $1 million rental and you buy $100, you get that many shares of that rental.
Yeah.
And they have it all broken down with the payments and the rent and everything like that. And then you get dividends, every quarter.
Yeah.
And the dividends aren't crazy. Like I think the one I'm on, they project that the dividends will be 5% a year.
Hmm.
They could be higher, they could be lower, but that's kind of what they project.
Hmm.
Um, and at first I looked at that and I'm like, okay, that's not even a good CD,
Yeah.
right? Like you're tying up my money because it's real estate. So you're tying up my
Hmm.
money for 5 or 10 years, and I'm not even making what I'd make on a CD. But kind of the point of real estate is that at the end of the day, you sell that real estate and now your $1,000 is actually $1,500. So you've been
Hmm.
making 5% all along, and then you made another 50% when you
Yes.
sell it. So,
Yes. There's
I'm like,
that
oh,
side of it.
right. So it's not like a CD. It's more like
Mhm.
your money is building the whole time. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. I started with just $200, and I'll keep listeners informed, right? But it
Did
was
that did the one that you bid on, did it go through? Is it done yet?
last I checked, it was not done yet. I think it was only like around 40 or 50% of the shares had sold.
Okay.
So
So is it ARRIVED?
yep, yep, that's the
Okay,
one.
I'm gonna look at that a little bit too. It sounds really interesting. And even
Well,
the
it was
one that you were talking about really quick sounded interesting. And if it's just a couple $100, it's a couple $100 to kind of
no, it's a
like, okay.
hundred. It's a hundred
No,
bucks to
yeah, yeah,
start.
100 to start.
And you can do whatever you want. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure there's people who have tens of thousands on there. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I was like, you know what? I was, when I first did, I'm like, I'm going to do 300. And then
Mm-hmm.
I thought, you know what? I'll diversify and maybe I'll do a vacation home,
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb, and do something else. And so I just started with 200 and said, let's see how this goes. And I did an Airbnb style vacation home
Mm-hmm.
in Florida and put 200 in it, bought me 20 shares
Mm-hmm.
and said, you know what, let's see how that goes first.
Yeah. So is it because I believe that like GoFundMe, although completely different, if it's not 100% funded, it doesn't happen. Is this the same? Like if all the
Yes,
shares aren't sold, that sale is not going to happen.
right, right.
Okay.
And there were others on there that were like at 85%
Mm-hmm.
funded and stuff. And
Yeah.
but I was more interested in this one, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm like, I'm gonna look at
interesting.
that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I'm
So,
gonna
and you
look at.
can look at it if you're looking at it right now, you can see the one I was looking at was in Florida, and it's like a
Yeah.
vacation one. So if you filter by vacation, there's probably only two or three on there.
It doesn't let me do any of that until I sign up.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's good podcasting to start signing up for
No,
stuff.
no,
But
no. But I
so
told
I
it
just
was
have it
funny
pulled up.
because when I was telling my wife about it, I'm like, we're experienced enough, especially because of Web3 and everything
Mm-hmm.
else, that we know what makes something more legit or less legit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on this one, that's why I signed up and started going through the process because
Mm-hmm.
it's not until you go through the process that you see if something has legitimacy or not. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of questions are they asking? Like, are they doing know your customer stuff?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
are they making sure to get all of your info? And it
Yeah.
was going through all of that kind of stuff and asking all the right questions. And it had all like, I'm like, okay, you can't just have somebody join a company without them having to do a whole bunch of documents that they have to sign,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because like when we're doing stuff like on KuCoin, we don't have to. And it's like, okay, that's mildly sketch. But
Mm.
nope, on this, here's your buyer's document, here's your
Okay.
1090,
Wow.
like it had all of that, and you
Mm-hmm.
had to docu-sign it or whatever. And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this
That's
makes me feel like
awesome.
it's more real,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, because even like it says, oh, Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Business Insider, Wall Street Journal, like all that stuff. But it's
Mhm.
like, okay, is it really like anyone can put that up? But
Right.
yeah,
Anybody
that's
could say that.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think my first dividend is due in January.
Okay.
So if it closes, right? So if it closes,
Yes.
they're scheduled for January, and I'll get back with everybody in what 5 months from now and let you know
Mm-hmm.
whether that went or not. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And speaking of real estate, it's kind of sad, and I don't know if there's a spot or not to
Hmm.
see like I'm so used to doing everything on blockchain like for the past couple years, like that's been most of my life. I mean,
Right.
even on eBay, there's a sold section if you're researching. But
Yes.
I just happened to look up yesterday. I wanted to see what properties were going for, and I was looking at like waterfront properties in the Denver area, and I didn't see. I
Denver,
mean,
Colorado.
no, Denver, North Carolina.
Oh, oh, oh.
Sorry, my bad. Any outside listeners? I live in North Carolina. There is a Denver and a Dallas, very close to each other. Neither the metropolis that you would think of. But the Denver, I did the so there was Denver with only like an acre and wooded, very similar, touching Lake Norman, and for like 300,000 and 400,000,
Wow.
which
Nice.
was put a lot of questions in my mind and led to some talks today. So
Yeah.
I kind of
That's
wonder.
pretty interesting.
We've talked about it off air, and like, and anyone who doesn't know, I've got property in Denver, and I've got more than 1 acre, and it touches Lake Norman. And so it's one of those things, but I don't know if any have sold recently, and I don't know if those people are just asking for a high price. Now,
Yeah,
I do feel that I got a great deal on mine, especially because I wasn't sure if it touched water till you were there, and
right.
because it was long and skinny, and I just never walked to the end. So yeah, like it does, and that's pretty awesome. So it's like, So we're kind of throwing some other ideas around, and just kind of we may
Yeah.
not be building.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can turn a profit, like I always think, if you can turn a quick profit, better to turn a quick profit,
Yeah, quick
right?
profit and just buy something.
Yeah, yeah, and
Like,
just buy
okay.
something,
Yeah.
right?
So I mean,
That's
the
always
dream
a
house,
good
the
thing.
whole idea is amazing, but I've talked about it before, even with you. Like, I think it's awesome, and we've done a lot of stuff, like a lot of the research that we need. But I could never. It's not like you can envision everything, but I couldn't really envision it, and I wasn't sure why. So I'm wondering if
Maybe
something
that's the
like that.
why.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean,
Definitely could
that's
be.
that's one of those kind of big up in the airs, and anyone who's been with us all along, sometimes those come up, and sometimes it's nothing, and sometimes it comes up, and it's amazing.
You'll have to go on Zillow and look and see what things have sold for.
Yeah.
So
You can find recently sold on Zillow.
that's what
Okay.
I always do.
It's been a long time since I've done anything like that. On Realtor,
It's
it does not have that.
no, it's more my wheelhouse, right? It's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
my
exactly.
wheelhouse.
Exactly.
So that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, I think, friends, that we're going to end this so I can catch the sunset. So it's just starting to set over Lake Michigan. I don't think you guys
Hmm.
can see it very well, but you can see the colors starting, can't you?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
so I think it's tonight. You'll be able to see Northern Lights there because there's like a weird
Ooh,
solar thing going on.
I wasn't sure if it was tonight or if it was Thursday. You think it's tonight?
Is it? I guess I forgot what date it said.
Well, I'll look it up. So that'll
Yeah.
be
I just
fantastic.
happened to read the article because it said like 17 states are going to be able to see the Northern Lights. So
Man, to see the
from
northern lights
somewhere.
over Lake Michigan would be freaking fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
If you can
super,
get a
super
shot and
cool.
turn into an NFT, give me one.
I will for sure. I'll send it right to you. Listeners, you too. We'll make them available.
Yes.
It'll be super cool. But anyway, friends, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And we'll be back at you, Tuesday at the latest, but maybe even on Sunday to hear about Kilted's trip to Americana, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to get some posts out while I'm there and stuff too.
Heck yeah.
That's the right thing to
Maybe
do.
give us some minis, maybe some
Mm-hmm.
TikToks.
Yep.
That'd be sweet. All right. Well, thank you much, friends. And we hope you enjoyed the episode. And give us a like, give us a subscribe, and hang
Mm-hmm.
out with us on Twitter. This is Ballbuster signing off.
Get the Dragon Jared. Love you all.